Welcome into the Coors Event Center. I am Mat Smith for 5280 Sports Network. Look who it is. It's Rich Kurtzman.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
72-58, CSU knocks off the Buffs at home. Back-to-back home losses to CSU for Colorado on their home floor. Rich, this game was a huge loss for the Buffaloes, but the Rams tonight come out and prove that they can play some defense.
This was a huge loss, and it was a record, or a long history-setting loss, I should say. It was 1950, 1951 were the last two times that Colorado State came into Boulder and won, and they really played Larry Eustace's brand and style of basketball, which was defense first, rebounding, all-out effort on the rebounding end, and they actually finally hit a couple of three-pointers, which was pretty surprising even from our end.
Yeah, it was a big deal, especially because this CU defensive effort, especially in the first half tonight, I would say it was pretty good until about the 5-minute mark, and then really the close of that first half, the Buffs just didn't play with any poise, and you got 4 fifth-year seniors in a game you're expected to win. I believe the line was like 14. I don't know, from a Colorado perspective, how you can sleep tonight, to be honest
Seriously.
with you. You've got so much poise and experience on this team. Not poise, I should say. Veteran leadership. Clearly you don't have any poise. But this is a team that's got to figure it out. And conversely for CSU, what they got from Amagbo tonight, what they got from Carvacho tonight, especially without Clavel and with his status up in the air, it was just huge.
Yeah. I mean, to say that Colorado State would come in and win by 15 when they were favored to lose, or they were the underdogs by 15, and Larry Eustace talked about it. I asked him after the game if he used that as a motivating factor. He said he certainly did. You could see it in Emmanuel Amagbo when he came into the postgame talking to us in the media. He was upset. He asked us all, did we expect them to win? No, we didn't. None of us did, obviously. None of us were going to tell them that. But this was a team that played out of their minds. Amagbo played incredibly well. He has to lead this team. Without Clavel, they have no outside shooting except for tonight. They actually shot 40%, 6 of 15 from downtown. Amagbo hit 2. Even Nico Carvacho hit 1, the 7-footer, who played out of his mind tonight. It was his best game, his most explosive game and performance of the year and of his career. Larry Eustace asked him after the game, is this a turning the corner moment for Nico? He said he already had turned the corner, but this is certainly, in my opinion, his breakout game of his college career, and Colorado State has to get more out of him down the stretch without scoring from Clavel, obviously.
Yeah, and a lot of that had to do with CU's interior defense. It was just not good tonight. Wesley Gordon, Xavier Johnson, you had a lot of guys in foul trouble. I mean, you go up and down just looking. You had 2 Buffs foul out, and Josh Fortune and XJ. George King with 4, Derek White with 3, Wes Gordon with 4. Listen, Derek White has 10 points in the first half, but he's got 4 turnovers. This Derek White at point guard experiment is not going like Tad Boyle wants it to go. And I think Derek White's struggling, to be honest, adjusting to the D1 game. He's doing okay defensively, but it's on the offensive end, getting around D1 athletes that I think he's really starting to kind of run into some trouble with. And tonight we saw it. He had 17. He was the leading scorer for Colorado, but when it mattered, the plays weren't being made. And conversely, Emmanuel Amagbo showing that he was the best player on the floor tonight. He made huge plays, a huge 3 in the first half, and not only that, but the effort and the intensity that he brought is what you'd expect of CU. This is what you would expect.
On their home court.
On their home floor.
Certainly.
Yeah, and this situation for Colorado, Rich, where, they've got, so they lose to CSU, they're 5-2, then they go at Portland, which is a good team with a very good backcourt, maybe one of the most underrated in the country, home to Xavier, one of the best teams in the country, and then at BYU. You've got a really tough stretch of 2 weeks, and Tad Boyle in the postgame talked about how this is easily one of the toughest stretches of basketball this team's going to have to play this year. And rubber meets the road. How do you deal with adversity? And we're going to see it.
Right. And conversely, you talk about Derek White, Devakio Butler, the JUCO transfer, he really came out and played well. He said he had no nerves tonight, which was pretty surprising. This place got really loud. I mean, it wasn't full by any means, but it got loud at a couple of moments, especially if you remember, the boos were deafening late in the second half.
They were
the
raining down.
Were bad on both sides of the ball. They called way too many penalties. Like you said, I think 2 Buffs fouled out. Nico Carvacho fouled out. Emmanuel Amagbo could have fouled out, but they didn't call it on him late in the game.
55 combined fouls in this game. It was a game dictated by the whistle, and when you're playing a basketball game like that, it comes down to how well do you perform with the free points you're given, and that's at the free throw line. And CSU was outstanding. Started 18 for 18, finished 26 of 33 from the stripe tonight. But Colorado 17 of 31. It started in the first half, and you could tell the body language, guys hanging their heads, not being able to chip into the game without the clock running, and really being able to mount that comeback. They made it close in the second half. There was some good effort. Xavier Johnson, some good hustle plays. Although, you know, a guy like that has 27 points against Wofford, and he finishes with 6 points tonight and fouls out of the game. Amagbo, you got to credit him defensively with that.
Definitely.
But you can't pick and choose your spots. And Colorado's team, with 4 fifth-year seniors, with the expectations that Boyle has put out there, they've got to find a way to step up. They got to find a way to respond. And you got to like that win if you're a Rams fan. You have to. I mean, another huge win for them.
And a big game on Saturday. It's a whiteout. Colorado State hosts Wichita State, which is one of their biggest non-conference opponents to come to Moby this year. So I expect Moby Arena to actually finally have a little piece of that Moby madness, which we got a little bit of that energy and that atmosphere here tonight.
Yeah.
And Colorado State has been lacking that all year long. They usually do in the non-conference. Hey, Larry finally brought in some good opponents in Wichita State. You guys better show up.
Yeah, that's a huge one for them, especially with this win. That's a big confidence booster. And like I said, for Colorado, they've got a lot of questions that they need to answer, and it's going to be a long, hard look in the mirror for the Buffs.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can come out of this game just seeing Wes Gordon and Derek White in that post-game press conference, their body language, you can't not feel disgusted if you're a Buffs basketball player. You can't, because that's an effort that you cannot allow on your home floor. One of the worst losses in the Tad Boyle era, home losses in the Tad Boyle era. This is a tough one for the Buffs and a great one for the Rams. I'm Matt Smith. This is Rich Kurtzman from the Coors Event Center. The 2016 Rocky Mountain Showdown for football and basketball. It's over, Rich.
It's over.
It's over, Rich.
And that was a dominating
that
football win.
It was, and they followed it up here with a really dominant
I
performance
can't believe
tonight.
it. You know, 5 straight times now the road team has won in this series. That's kind of mind-boggling.
It is a little mind-boggling. That just shows you that the opponent wants to come up and show up to your home floor and make a statement more than the home team does. Again, Matt Smith, Rich Kurtzman. Go online to 5280 Sports Network. Follow all of our podcasts, our family of podcasts. Got some great content on there for you. At Rich Kurtzman on Twitter, at Real Matt Smith, that's Matt with 1 T, and at 5280 Sportsnet. We appreciate the time, y'all.
Thanks, y'all.